All right. Well, let's start off. Something these companies have always tried to avoid 100 times over is calling their drivers employees. They've always wanted the IC model, independent contractor, and yet they still somehow make it seem like you're an employee. Uh, it's depending on how they want it to be for themselves. But, they fought tooth and nail when it came to AB5 in California. They went with Prop 22, which hundreds of millions of dollars was invested into trying to get Prop 22 passed, which it did. And DoorDash was one of those three big companies between Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash when it came to fighting for drivers to remain independent contractors. And today, well, not today, but just the other day, they're now looking at partnering with a couple of companies, and it's going to be involving employees versus independent contractors.
Yeah, so I have all the details on this, so I'll get into it. So DoorDash is not doing this through their app, Chris, because if they do, then employee situation versus IC model comes into question, right? So what they did is they hired these two logistics companies, one in Texas, Austin to be exact, and one in California, Fresno to be exact.
Yeah, they Fresno said Logistics and LCSP one.
Yeah. So they said, you're going to have to show up, send a resume, get an interview, just like any other employment or W-2 you're going to go through. And if you do get hired as a DoorDash courier, you are going to get paid by the hour. You're going to have benefits, and the tips are yours, FYI. So the orders are still going to go through the app. Picking up, dropping off, everything is going to work through the app. But they hired these two outside logistics companies so that they don't have the employment because look, we do our surveys, 80% of our audience want to stay independent contractors, but there is a 20% group that want to be employees, right? All the benefits and, healthcare and whatever else comes with it. So DoorDash goes, well, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a test through two different logistics companies. And so if you're interested, and if you're in the Fresno or Austin area, knock on their door. You can just apply for the job, get an interview. Now, there is obviously, you're an employee now, okay? There's no more cherry picking. They're going to issue you shifts. They're going to give you shifts. You're going to accept your shift. There's still some flexibility. They're saying that there's going to be, shifts are going to be kind of flexible. You can pick your, spots. You're going to accept every order and you're going to do every delivery order, but the tips are yours. So I'm sure all of you are already saying or thinking, what does it pay? What does it pay? What does it pay? I'm going like, hold your horses. I'm coming.
We're getting there. Don't worry.
We're getting there. So DoorDash has partnered with two companies.
Start with Fresno's one, and then we'll go to Austin's. There are two companies that we were talking about, one in California, one in Austin. So I'm going to start with Fresno Logistics. So basically what they pay is $16 an hour plus tips and reimbursement for miles driven on the job. You're getting healthcare and paid time off. So there is a couple of benefits there. And the reimbursement, from what I heard, is 35 cents, I believe. I cannot remember. We have it on the other page, so don't quote me because I forget exactly. It's like 30 or 35 cents a mile when it comes to reimbursements. So that's the Fresno, California one. Now let's go to Austin, Texas, and talk about the LCSP one. So instead of 16 an hour, it's 13 an hour, and you're getting per mile reimbursement of 10 cents. So every mile you're driving, you're getting a 10-cent reimbursement. Full-time employees are going to work 4 10-hour shifts scheduled Monday through Friday each week, and part-time must make at least 20 hours worth of deliveries according to the website. So that is a little bit on the differences between the two. So it's pretty interesting to see how these two companies are going from there. But what would you do? Let's see in the comments what you guys are going to do. One thing I always say is work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, then you may be working harder. So let's change that. Download the app, link your accounts where you can manage your income, track your expenses, and project your taxes. Not only that,
but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download Solo and begin to work smarter, not harder today. Link is in the description. All right, let's get back to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's minimum wage obviously involved, as you said, 16. That's the minimum wage in the Fresno area. You get to keep the tips and 35 cents per mile. You use your own car. You obviously have the insurance. Everything is the same as DoorDash driver. You can use a beater. There's no threshold for the car. And you get all the benefits. And I think this is pretty decent actually, because I did a few deliveries this week on Uber Eats, and it's disaster out there. It really is. Now, there's caveats in this. You cannot decline trips, okay? You cannot, cherry pick the best ones or this and that. And you're just going to have an 8-hour shift and whatever comes your way. Now, the only thing that DoorDash said is they're going to do it with 20%, right? 20% of the orders are going to go to these employees. Since these employees are hired by these logistics companies, they're not falling into the, trap, or let's say whatever, of hiring employees. So if you're in the Fresno area and if you're in Austin, apply and let me know, Sergio at the rideshareguy.com. I mean, I'm pretty sure some of our audience may be interested in this. You put a solid 40 hours a week, you get the 16 minimum, you get the tips. You get healthcare, you get the retirement benefits, you get paid time off, just like an employee would. DoorDash is trying, and they're looking for drivers, couriers. So please go do it. I'm kind of betting actually that you would make more money doing this than just waiting out there for a juicy order with a high tip, right? Cherry picking or whatever DoorDashers will do. I think this will pay more. I'm pretty sure, because when I drove last week and did 35 deliveries, I was online for 30 hours to do 30 deliveries, and I pretty much accepted pretty much everything. And there is no orders out there. I mean, I'm telling you, the markets are so oversaturated. And please, we know why the reason is. We did a great behind the wheel last week with Luis Berti. We have one coming up with an ex-border patrol agent who's a gig worker now, coming up this Thursday. Please check that out. These illegal accounts, fake accounts, illegal aliens driving with these fake accounts is absolutely killing the markets, specifically for deliveries. And yeah, I mean, if this is going to float your boat, 16 per hour plus all the perks and the tips, yeah, I think you will make more money.
Yeah, you'll probably be making more money. I think the Fresno is definitely a lot better than the Austin one. I mean, if you're getting paid 10 cents a mile for reimbursement, that's a little ridiculous there, in my opinion.
Well, they couldn't do less than that in California because we have Prop 22, right? 35 cents a mile reimbursement on that one. That's why they couldn't do that.
Would an employee fall under the same category?
Yeah, well, as an employee, since you're using your own car, you should be reimbursed at the IRS deduction rate.
You should be, but you don't have to be.
Which is 67. Yeah, that's the only dark area here, but I will find that out. However, if you're a full-time DoorDasher, Chris, and if you're like out there 50 hours a week or whatever, right? And you're struggling, I know you are struggling because orders are not there, frequency is not there, people are not tipping as much as they did before, and you're basically working for Prop 22 money in California. I think you will make more money doing this. At least you got the 16 guarantee plus the tips plus the benefits. I think you will. I'm pretty sure in California anyway. I cannot speak for Austin, Texas, but I'm pretty sure in California you will make more money doing this. You're just going to accept everything and go on your merry way, man. That's it. No thought process, no gamification, no gamification, no getting upset. If DoorDash is going to send you, I don't know, 3 orders an hour, you're going to get the $2 order, you're going to get the $10 order. I don't even think, by the way, I haven't seen a screenshot of the ping yet because this hasn't kicked in, but I don't even think DoorDash is going to send you a price, a fare, right? It's just going to go pick up here, drop off here, pick up here, drop off there. Yeah. And then you're going to be on the clock.
That'll probably be the majority of it. And then it'll just like have the pickup drop off. So it'll have the restaurant you got to go to, where the customer's location is. And then once completed, if there's any tip or anything, that'll just be calculated in. So I don't think it's going to be too difficult there. My thing is, what about driving an e-bike versus a car? Save on some money there.
Yeah, I mean, this obviously you cannot do on a scooter. Well, electric scooter, you can probably do it on a moped or something like that, like that guy in the picture. Obviously, you probably need a car because they're going to send you to these ridiculous nature hike deliveries. Like 2-mile pickup, 10-mile drop off, that kind of ridiculousness. So you have to dead mile back. So there's going to be a lot of miles that you're going to be driving on your car, but you're going to get reimbursed at 35 cents in California, 10 cents in Texas.
10 cents, I think, is a damn joke.
I think it's for somebody in California. It's not in. I definitely would have tried this, Chris, for at least a month anyway. Not just for content, just to make it. I mean, obviously for content, to make some comparison, right? Because I'm telling you, this will definitely add up. I mean, look,
Well,
if you get 16 an hour plus $5, $6, $8 tips an hour, you're already at 22, 23 plus all the 35 cents on the mileage. I mean, you can get up to 27, $28. Obviously, you have your costs, you have all these things. I get it, but I think a full-time full-time courier doing it this way versus just as an IC on the DoorDash app will make less money than this person. I'm betting on it at the moment, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll end up seeing, but I think with our audience, there may be somebody who will reach out to us that is working on the platform, or maybe we can try to get an interview with somebody just to see after it actually really gets going.
Yeah.
Mr. Gambit's got a pretty good point. In California, will they be considered a fast food worker?
No.
But I don't think
No.
so. I mean,
No,
it's
they're
an
just
interesting, it's a concept or a thought because they're there, but they're going to be more of a courier. So
yeah,
it's
they're
a little bit
couriers.
different
They're
there.
just like these DSPs with Amazon. You're just nothing more, nothing less. And these are some of the FAQs which Chris probably talked about. So what is the work schedule like? It says Fresno Logistics operates with DoorDash Monday through Friday. So no weekends on this either. Interesting. Which is weekends are the busiest times on DoorDash. So it's not going to
Well,
kill actually,
so
you
sign
know.
up as an employee and then go out on the weekends yourself.
Exactly. If you're
What's
going
to
to do
stop
it,
you there?
maximize your hours that way. Because weekdays are the dead times, like Monday, Tuesday. This week, last week when I did it, I didn't even get orders. So for like 3 hours. Yeah, you pick your shift. There is some flexibility, they said, in the shift picking process. And your base pay 16 plus 100% of the customer tips plus 35 cents a mile. This is in Fresno area. If you're in the Fresno area, check it out. You will get paid every Friday. Oh, this is the okay. So that's it. I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah, honestly, I don't see the downside in Fresno. In what you call it in Austin, I'm sorry, but 10 cents a
Dude, I
mile
don't know.
for
Is
reimbursement.
maybe the minimum wages in Austin is $13? Is it? I'm not sure.
I don't know what the minimum wage is, but your cost to operate your vehicle is going to be more than
Yeah,
10 cents. So
that's
you're not being reimbursed the proper amount. So you're going to be actually eating into the amount that you're getting paid
yeah.
for, even, including tips and all that. So if it was maybe 35 cents, okay, it depends on the car you're driving, but you got to figure out your costs and see if that's, within the bounds. But no matter what
No,
car you have, I don't care if it's electric, I don't care if it's ICE,
yeah.
it's going to be more than 10 cents to operate.
Yeah, I agree. And no, Scotty, no, only Fresno and Austin at the moment. They're testing it in 2 cities with 2 logistics companies. Yeah, I think, yeah, if any of you do it, let me know, and we'll do actually a behind the wheel with you guys. If any of you are going to try it, we'll see.
Yep. All you got to do is do a Google search. Again, it's Fresno Logistics. If you're in Fresno, if you're in Austin, it's LCSP1. So you can check out both of those and go from there.
Okay, these logistics have one have idle workers on the clock. Okay, 2, yeah, but they're gonna funnel the, they're gonna keep you busy. Trust me. They have done they have the data probably. They're not gonna just clock in and pay you $16 an hour, Mike. And yeah, okay, 40 hours is 40 hours. Well, we'll find out. we'll find out. You know, we will
Well, I
definitely
mean,
find out.
honestly, hey, if they keep you going, if they just keep you going from one to the next to the next,
Yeah,
I mean, that's, 3, 4, 5 deliveries, maybe an hour that you're going to be
yeah,
averaging.
yeah.
And that means you have 3, 4, 5 chances to get tipped on top of it. When I was working way back when as pizza
Uh,
delivery, I was getting, 4, 5, 6 deliveries an hour. And you'd be making, 20, $30 extra on top an hour. On top of the hourly wage too. So honestly, it's probably going to be a lot better because you are going to be moving a lot more. Again, the
yeah.
only problem is the reimbursement on Austin's side. When it comes to Fresno, there's going to be quite a few cars that are going to be able to operate under that 35-cent mile threshold. So when it comes to that, you won't be losing any money. All of that 35 cents should not be towards your pay or take home or bills or anything like. It should be going towards the car itself, maintaining, getting a new car, anything like that.
Yeah, Mr. Gambit, this is not through the restaurant. There's a logistics company that's hiring you. You're not working for a restaurant. You're working for a logistics company. Don't mix the two up. But yeah, exactly. See, Eustace has it right. Exactly that. Fresno Logistics is a company. Exactly. They do all the Amazon DSPs. So I know about them. But I will definitely. I'm sure somebody will email me, Chris, and then we'll go deeper into it. When somebody does it, look at their paychecks, look at their pay stubs, look at all the stuff and make sense out of it. I think it's an interesting idea.
Now that would be interesting.
Yeah, DeVoe
$15
says,
an hour in Austin, Texas. Let's see.
oh,
So that
and they
would
pay
be
less than
that would
that?
be
Well, we got to look into that, won't we now?
yeah, it says 15 an hour. Just Googled it.
Okay. And yeah, well, don't do it in Austin. Well, if you're in Fresno, Eustace, check it out.
Yeah, I don't know how they would be able to pay them under that. The
Okay.
only way is the only way I could see it is they're gonna say, "Oh, well, you're getting tipped, so it's gonna bring you over that $15 an hour."
Yeah,
And if you're not, but
that's the law, though. The law is you
yeah,
can't pay less than minimum wage. I don't know about
yeah,
that.
that's
This is a good question. Daniel always has good questions. How does insurance work for this? Do you need to buy your own comprehensive? You will have to probably have to present the hiring company, DSPs. Like this is like Amazon. You can do Amazon Flex in your own car. They'll load up your car with packages and you go deliver packages. This is the same thing. You're just delivering food. And I'm pretty sure whatever applies to Amazon Flex is going to apply to this. So I'm pretty sure you will have to have full coverage. But I'll do for you guys, since you guys are all interested about this, I'll call DoorDash. Actually, I have some contacts at DoorDash and find out the exact particulars about how it is in Fresno. I don't know about Austin. Can they legally pay less than minimum wage? I don't think they can.
I have no idea how they'd be able to get away with that. That
Well,
would be some sort of
so Tahoe
labor
King says,
issue.
come on, Serge. If we see okay, well, all of you complain that you're not making any money. You're making less than minimum wage. This is going to be definitely more than minimum wage, Tahoe King. Okay, so, I mean, I don't know. All of you are complaining, but you're all still driving. So I don't know, but we'll see. Let's not get into too much because nobody has done it yet. But you can apply now, and if any of you do, please email me, Sergio at therideshareguy.com, so we can get the details. But I'll get more details from DoorDash coming up. Anyway, let's move on.
Oh yeah, they're not. I was trying ChatGPT just to see what I could pull up there, but it's giving
Okay,
me an answer, so I'll have to play around with it just to see.
well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yep.
Either way, that's going to be a little crazy if that is under its minimum wage. And what would be the ability to even be able to do something like that?
I don't think you can legally. I don't think you can pay less than minimum wage on a W-2 anyway. Maybe you can pay on the side or whatever, cash, under the table or whatever.
Let's see
But
if they have a
not.
tipped minimum wage.
Yeah, I don't know. But Texas is Texas.
Okay, so for employees who receive tips, such as servers and bartenders, the minimum wage is $5.15 per hour. But the employer must make up the difference, and if an employee's tips and hourly wage do not add up to the current 15 an hour.
But they're not. They're not restaurant employees. Well, we'll see.
But they're tipped employees because the tip is there. Not that
Yeah.
it's guaranteed or anything like that, but Again, that's the whole thing. So if they don't get tips for that hour, they would have to make up that
To the 15. Okay.
for the 15. I mean, legally, you have to.
Yeah,
If
the
not,
10 cents a
you're
mile.
operating inside the bounds of the law, and you have a little bit of a lawsuit going on your hands.
Yeah, and 10 cents,
So
10 cents a mile for reimbursement is ridiculous. 35 is probably the minimum. That, you
Yep.
know, if you have like a 10-year-old, 15-year-old Prius that you're running into the ground that's already completely depreciated, the mile per mile cost on that car is probably 35 cents, maybe 28 to 35 cents. So
Mhm.
that's kind of okay, but
I
not
think,
not the 10.
yeah,
10 is,
honestly, I think the only way you'd be able to not profit, but break even is if you had like a moped. That would be
yeah,
really the only
yeah,
thing I would think.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.